Hey, welcome back. We got another Speed Duel deck spotlight here from the new Duelists to Shadows box. This one is probably, I don't know. I'm such a sucker for Amazoness, man. This one might be my favorite out of all eight. I don't know if it's any good though. I mean, there's so many reprints here. I'm getting ahead of myself. So this is the Tania deck from Duelists to Shadows, Amazoness related. There's a lot of reprints in here. Amazoness doesn't work anymore. You know, we saw Tribal Synergy back in 2019. I personally used Amazoness a lot because back when the first starter decks came out in 2019, when you just saw Swordswoman slapping Blue Eyes White Dragon, super fun to play. Heirloom was super good. You know, we found too many ways around equip spells, and it'll be interesting to see how this deck works. So, Amazoness deck, what does it do? It's all about kind of churning out Amazoness monsters pretty quickly, sometimes in mid battle and buffing him up really with some of the spells. We got Fighting Spirit here, and we have Spellcaster, and there are a couple skills here associated with Tania that does some things to help the Amazoness. We can go through the skills first. There's two. So there's Welcome to the Jungle, which is after damage calculation. If you took battle damage between your opponent's monster and your monster, that opponent's monster loses attack and defense equal to the attack of the Amazon's monster it battled until the end of the turn. More likely than not, you have another Amazon's monster out. It's going to do things, and it's going to easily beat over. It's probably a way to get over a big boss monster, for example. I don't know. That sounds like a lot of math. I don't know if I like that one. Welcome to the Jungle. The second skill, I can get behind this. Order of the Queen. This is basically Dark Ruler Hades or Hades, however you want to say it, but for Amazoness. So Order of the Queen is why you control an Amazoness Queen. Negate the effects of effect monsters destroyed by battle with attacking Amazoness monsters you control. So you're talking about, I don't know, swing into a Nidoria, for example. I got Amazoness Queen up. No Nidoria effect, right? So it negates the effects of effect monsters destroyed by battle with an attacking Amazoness monster you control. It's got to be an Amazoness. So you can't like attack with like Battle Survivor. It's got to be an Amazoness monster. So with those two skills, I think that we're going to see Order of the Queen. It depends on how often you get Queen out. It is a 6-star. You got to be able to get this out for Order of the Queen to work, but that's a really good static effect. You know, similar to like this is literally similar to like Hades. It's like that's your Monarch. You get out, it's 2400, and it's got a great effect in tangent with a skill if you can get Queen out. So I think that if people are going to play Amazoness, I think we're going to see Order of the Queen more. But I can understand how Welcome to the Jungle could like get over a boss monster and kind of trip up your opponent that way. So let's go card by card for Tanya's deck. And keep in mind, guys, this is like we're pulling it fresh out of the box, and you know you're playing one of 8 decks against your friends. This is what the Amazoness deck will look like. Amazoness Queen, first card. We didn't see this until just now. There's a lot of other Amazoness that we have seen, but Queen is going to be a shakeup. So Amazoness monsters you control can't be destroyed by battle. So if you can get this out, it's 2400. There's your Monarch right there, 6 stars, pretty standard for 6-star. You're going to have 2 amazing effects if you use Order of the Queen. You're going to have Amazoness monsters can't be destroyed by battle, and you negate the effects of effect monsters destroyed by Amazoness cards. This is just a walking heirloom, but better. Plus Order of the Queen, it's a really, really great board state if you can get Queen out. Especially because there's a lot of other ways you're going to be able to get Amazonesses out. You know, so if Queen's kind of your only one on the field, you're gonna get a board pretty quickly. So Amazoness Queen's cool. I hope we see that in play a lot. We got the Swordswoman. Obviously, you've seen that for a long time. Your opponent takes any battle damage you have taken from battles involved in this card. Solid card all around, 1500 attack. I've noticed, you know, one thing to know is that the Amazoness attacks are a little low. We're seeing consistently like 1900s now, but there are several ways to get these Amazonesses up to 19 or higher, and there's some spells and some other traps that we can use that'll kind of help them there. So Swordswoman, 1500 attack. Amazoness Tiger, 1100. You can only control an Amazoness Tiger, only one of them. This card gains 400 attack for each Amazoness monster you control. So it's speed duel, three slots. So it can get to max 19. But it's also a tank. Your opponent cannot attack any face-up Amazoness monsters except this one. So while it's on the field, your opponent has to go through this. So that's great if you're trying to protect something like scouts. You know, we'll see if this is used a lot. It's tough with just 3 spots, but Tiger here. I mean, for maximum Tiger value, you need 3 Amazoness on the field. It's going to put it to 19 before any other potential spell effect that we might see. So Amazoness Tiger's in here. That's new. Amazoness Paladin. Card gains 100 attack for each Amazoness monster you control. Same thing. 3 spots. It's going to get up to... Actually, does it count itself? Comments, does it count itself? This card gains 100 attack for each Amazoness monster you control. I think it counts itself. So that gets up to 2,000 if you have 3 Amazoness monsters in the slots. So, that's all right. It's a 4-star. You can throw it down. It's probably going to get to 18, 19 very quickly, but we'll see. Chainmaster is a fun one. I loved using this in 2019. This was when it's destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard. You can pay 1,500, look at your opponent's hand. You can add a monster. That really disrupts their momentum, and it can potentially help you. And it's like, I love messing with the opponent that way. 1,500 life points is a lot of life points for Speed Duel, so you're taking a little bit of a risk. But when I was playing this card, I was using Last Gamble, playing Amazoness in 2019, so like life points didn't matter because I was going to Last Gamble anyway, so it was awesome to use. But it's got to be destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, so not card effect, and you're losing this card. So it's a toss-up if you want to use Chainmaster, but I like Chainmaster. Amazoness Fighter is here. This is a new one. You take no battle damage from attacks on this card. 1,500 though, so that's pretty low. That's not going to get over much. You're going to need help with your spells and traps to get Fighter up. But take no battle damage from attacks involved in this card. Pretty solid static effect. Amazoness Trainee, we saw pretty consistently towards the end of 2019. Monster destroyed by battle with this card are returned to the bottom of the deck instead of graveyard. We saw a lot of graveyard effects we wanted to get around, right? Like destroyed by battle, sent to the graveyard, this happens. So putting it to the bottom deck gets around those effects, and if it destroys an opponent's monster by battle, it gains 200 attack. So, you're seeing a Trainee is 15 to 17 to 19, and you can see how it kind of escalates from there. So Trainee, we might see this come back because we got some good support here with spells and traps to kind of buff this and get it rolling, but it'll be interesting to see. But Trainee reprinted here, Sage reprinted as well. The end of damage step, if an attack's still on the field, you target a spell trap and you destroy it. So this is your magic removal. Granted, Sage has to attack. 1,400 attack is not a lot. You're either swinging right at your opponent's face or you got to find something you can beat over. So not always easy to get an attack off with Sage, but if you do, you get magic removal. And sometimes it's worth to, well, it's got to stay on the field. So sometimes it's worth to like maybe blow a resource and spell trap to keep it alive if it means you're also getting magic removal. It's up to you. But Amazon Sage still here. So just to put in perspective, Sage, Trainee, Chainmaster, and Swordswoman were the ones that have been in the Speed Duel format. And all the others are recent additions. And the last one here is Amazon Scouts, also a recent addition. During either player's turn, you contribute this card. This turn, face-up Amazoness monsters you control cannot be targeted by monster effects and can't be destroyed by card effects. That's pretty great in a pinch. During either player's turn, you contribute this card. So it's like a whole spot on the field, though. That's the hard thing. It'll be interesting to see if people use this. But it's a good one. You can use it on either player's turn, and it stops card effects. So we'll see if that gets used too. And those are all the Amazoness monsters, I think. So, if I was building a deck, I'd put Queen in. Let's get Swordswoman. I think I want Fighter. I might want Trainee. I like Chainmaster, but we'll see. It'll be interesting to see how people use the new additions to kind of build and strategize the Amazoness deck here, especially paired with the skills. All right. One other monster included in this deck is Battle Survivor. Just a warrior, not an Amazoness. At the end of the battle phase, you can add a card from your graveyard to your hand, except Battle Survivor that was sent there during the battle phase. So it helps you get Amazoness back. You can recycle them back to your hand while you control this face-up card. So it has to be controlled face-up for that to happen. You can only use the effective Battle Survivor once per turn. Yeah, so it helps you recycle your Amazoness monster. And then looking at spells, we got Rhoda in here. Rhoda, I believe, is still limited. So, that's great, though, because you can take your pick. Add one level 4 lower warrior monster from deck to hand. So you're not getting Queen, but you're getting everything else. So Rhoda, good in here. Amazoness Heirloom, I loved running these. Don't know if it's going to be as viable with the magic removal and easy ways to get rid of monsters now. Once per turn, monster can't be destroyed by battle. If you have Heirloom on, there's so many card effects now that remove monsters. You got to be careful here. After damage calculation, if the equipped monster attacks a monster, destroy the attacked monster. So this felt really good in 2019 to throw down a Swordswoman Heirloom against a Blue Eyes White Dragon, because Blue Eyes is your opponent's taking the battle damage and they lose their Blue Eyes if you swing in with the Swordswoman Heirloom, for example. So Heirloom felt really good back then. Hopefully it feels good now. It might be a little too slow. There's so many ways to get around this and combat this. We'll see. And then they also have Amazoness Village reprinted in here, which we saw in 2019, which basically just keeps the ball rolling in terms of Amazoness. So once per turn, when Amazon's monsters destroyed by battle or card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon one from your deck. So it kind of keeps it going. You can only do that once per turn. And also, it's just a flat buff. So all Amazoness monsters gain 200 attack. So if you factor in Village with some of these, you got Queen at 26, Swordswoman at 17. You got Tiger. This is going to be, we have other Amazoness, actually for each Amazoness monster you control. Does it count itself, guys? I should have done my research on this. Does it count itself? If it does, that's stupid. But you're getting another 200 here with Tiger, Paladin, Chainmaster up to 17, right? Trainee starts at 17. That gives them a little more of a shot. So Village is really great to keep out. And typically, I imagine if you're going to play Amazoness, you're running 2 or 3 of these, and you want this out. All right, next spell is Fighting Spirit. This is a new one here. This is a continuous spell. If an Amazoness monster attacks a monster with higher attack, the attacking monster gains 1,000 attack during damage calc only. So you have this out. Now all of a sudden this is starting to make sense. Okay, so Sage, 24. Chainmaster, 25. Right, and that's Tiger, Paladin, before the buffs that they have individually. If it's attacking a monster with a higher attack. So it's got to be a boss monster you're beating into. I can't swing at I can't swing at a man-eater bug with my 2600 Amazoness Queen and expect to get this right. It's got to be a monster with a higher attack. So you're beating down the boss monster. So I like that. That's a cool card I hope we see. But continuous spell, man, we just don't really see that in this format, and I'm worried that there's going to be a lot of quick ways to remove that. But Fighting Spirit kind of makes this make a little more sense, and it really makes these guys threatening, especially with some of the existing effects that they have, or if you get Queen out, you're happening to use like Order the Queen, right? So Fighting Spirit's cool. Amazon Spellcaster, target an Amazoness monster you control and a face-up monster your opponent controls, switch the original attack of those targets till end of turn. So this is where you get this is where some of these low attacks also don't start to not matter, because you can, right, you got your Trainee, they have a boss monster, you swap attacks. Trainee all of a sudden, huge buff, swinging into this baby boss monster, and still getting the bottom deck and getting all these effects. It's really good. So Spellcaster is a good support there for Amazoness. You have Archers, which was reprinted. We saw this in 2019 when opponent's monster declares an attack while you control an Amazoness monster. All opponent's monsters go to face-up attack position with no flips. They lose 500 attack, and they all have to swing in. So this, it's situational. If they got big bosses, you're still in trouble. And there are a lot of times where Archers doesn't work. But if they have like a field of, I don't know, 2000s and it's going to drop into 15, they all got to swing into like a 17 swordswoman or trainee, then this is like a huge gotcha. But it's situational, so you got to be careful about that. So Archers is cool. Amazoness Willpower is basically a monster reborn for Amazoness, right? You select an Amazoness monster in your graveyard, special summon in attack position, can't change battle position, must attack if able, and then it's like tethered to the card, right? So if you pop the card, you pop the monster, you destroy the monster, you destroy the card. So a little bit of like, it's like almost like a, what was that, Call of the Haunted? But for Amazoness, you can't change the battle position. I don't think we're going to see this. There's so many ways to get cards from deck, and you got Battle Survivor for Grave, Roto gets from deck, Village lets you special summon from deck. I don't know if we're going to see Willpower, unless you're like just trying to get Queen back, so potentially there. But I really like the support that they gave the Amazoness here. There's quite a few they're looking pretty nice. And I like that they added more to this archetype in general. So Amazoness Willpower. Dramatic Rescue is what you swap something out, right? When a card's activated that targets an Amazoness monster, you return the targeted monster, so you return the Amazoness to its owner's hand, and you get to swap it out. So special summon another monster from your hand. So targeting Amazoness Paladin with offerings to the doomed. Dramatic Rescue, Paladin back to my hand, bring out whatever else is in my hand. Actually, special summon another monster from your hand. Oh, you can get Queen out for free with that. Just says special summon another monster from your hand. That's not bad. Dramatic Rescue, cool. It's not. It doesn't say Amazoness in the title, but it is Amazoness specific because it's got to target an Amazoness monster. Queen's Pawn, kind of a battle trap here. Activate when an Amazoness monster you control destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sends it to the grave. So not Trainee. But if you're on a roll here and Queen just swung in and destroyed something, you can keep it rolling here. You can special summon another level 4 lower Amazoness monster from your deck, still in the battle phase, so you're going to get another attack there. So Queen's Pawn's cool. If you're trying to push for game, for lethal, you got OTK, however you want to do it. And then the last trap here is half counter. During damage calc, if a monster you control is being attacked, target the monster. The target gains attack equal to half the original attack of the attacking monster. It's just basically like a reverse shrink. I don't know. However you want to do the math and make it work in your head. Someone's going to yell at me for saying that, but it's really just a reverse shrink. Like you're just doing math, you're adding some attack to your monster, and then we're playing it out. It's like it's almost like a backwards half shut too, except for that you can't be destroyed. So it's basically you're gaining a little bit of attack here. I don't think we're going to see half counter, but I like these other traps and spells that we're seeing for Amazon support, and that's the Tania deck. So that's I'm excited. I really hope that people use this. I think there are too many reprints though. I guess as a final thought, like, if all these cards were really good already, we would still see these creep up in some decks. Like we see Swordswoman, but it's not an Amazon stack. This was before Duels of Shadows. We saw Swordswoman just because it's like part of the burn, right? People like tributing for your side of the field for Lava Golem and then Swordswomaning you, right? But if people can figure out a way to get Queen out quick, keep Queen out, we're using Order the Queen. This deck's got a shot. I'm excited to see it. So hopefully we see it in some tournament play and we see people that are smarter than me that know how to put this together. But more deck spotlights to come, guys. Appreciate you watching. I'll catch you guys later. See ya.